the screencast, we're looking at functions and equations. We're on page 598. Let's look at number 1. It says write an equation to represent the function shown in the table. So, in the last lesson we learned about function rules. This time we're doing functions and equations. So we're actually writing an equation and not an expression like we did for rules. An equation means there's going to be an equal sign in it. It's always going to start with y equals, because we're going to look from the top to the bottom. And if I'm looking at 1 to 4, 2 to 8, 3 to 12, and 4 to 16, I see that I'm multiplying by 4. So I'm going to take 4x. I'm taking the x here because these are the numbers in the top row, and I'm trying to find the bottom row, which is y. Now we're going to graph the function. So we have y equals x plus 3. All we're going to do is we're going to take the numbers down here, which are the x numbers, and plug it in for x. So I have 1 plus 3 is 4. 2 plus 3 equals 5. And we have 3 plus 3 equals 6. And then we have 4 plus 3 equals 7. And we have 5 plus 3 equals 8. So now I'm going to put that on here. At 1, I'm at 4. At 2, I'm at 5. At 3, I'm at 6. At 4, I'm at 7. And at 5, I'm at 8. So we're just going to connect that line right there. And we're going to put an arrow on it because there's more numbers here and it's going to continue to go up in this line. Okay, let's take a look at number 3. Okay, number 3 is a big problem. We're going to put everything together on. It says the graph shows below the number of inches of rainfall, x. So x is this row right here. Sorry, I'm going to work through it. Equivalent means equal, to inches of snow, y. Y goes up and down, so this is y, this is x. Make a function table for the input-output values. Write an equation from the graph that can be used to find the total inches of snow, y, equivalent to inches of rain. So when we're counting, we're always going to start with 1, because that's what we do when we count. We go 1, 2, 3, 4. And now let's go to 1 and see where our dot is. So we're at 10. At 2, our dot's at 20. At 3, our dot's at 30. And at 4, our dot's at 40. So we filled out the table. Now we're writing an equation. Remember, an equation has an equal sign in it. We need to have x and y. We're always going to start with y equals. We need to figure out how to get from 1 to 10, 2 to 20, 3 to 30, 4 to 40. We're multiplying by 10, so 10x. And if we want to check that, all we have to do is put one of the numbers from x. So let's try 4. If I plug 4 in for x, 10 times 4 is 40, and that is correct. Let's go ahead and flip to page 599, and we can do some problems on that. Okay, these first ones, we have tables, so all we're writing is the equation. So how do I get from the top to bottom? How do I get from 1 to 6, 2 to 12, 3 to 18, 4 to 24, 5 to 30? And we're going to be multiplying by 6 because 1 times 6 is 6, 2 times 6 is 12, 3 times 6 is 18, and so on. So y equals 6x. Over here, on number 2, we go from 0 to 0, 1 to 15, 2 to 30, 3 to 45, 4 to 60. We're going to be multiplying by 15, so y equals 15x. Remember, you can always check these out to see if you're right or wrong. All you have to do is take an x number and plug it in for x. So 15 times 4 gives us 60, which is our y. Okay. Now we're going to be graphing. So let's look up to 3, 4, and 5. All we're going to do is we're going to take these x numbers, which are down here, and plug them in for x. So we have x plus 4. So I'm going to do 1 plus 4 equals 5. So at 1, we go to 5. And then I'm going to look at 2 because that's my next number. 2 plus 4 equals 6. And 3 plus 4 equals 7. And 4 plus 4 equals 8. And to get each of these numbers that I put right through here, I just went along the bottom. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And as always, you can also start with 0. I forgot to do 0, so 0 plus 4 equals 4. We draw their line, add our arrow because our line will continue to go to that pattern. Our next one is a 2-step problem because we have multiplication with the 2x and then we're adding. So I'm going to come and erase this stuff over here so I can show my work over in that space. The first number I'm going to be putting in is 0. So 2 times 0 is 0. And then adding 0.5, I just get 0.5. Okay, our next one, we have 2 times 1, because that's our next number. And that gives us 2 plus 0.5, so that's 2.5. So halfway between 2 and 3. I'm going to erase it. Let's do our next one. We're going to put 2 in, so 2 times 2 equals 4. 4 plus 0.5 is 4.5. So we're at 2, we jump up to 4.5, which is halfway between 4 and 5. Our next number is 3, so 2 times 3 equals 6. 6 plus 0.5 is 6.5. So at 3, we're jumping up to 6.5. And then we're going to get a 4. 2 times 4 equals 8. And 8 plus 0.5 equals 8.5. So I'm at 4, I jump up to 8.5. I connect my line as straight as I can, and that is what your line should look like. Our next one, number 5, is also a 2-step problem. So we have multiplication, and we have addition. We're going to start with 0. 0 times anything is 0, so we have 0 plus 1 is 1. Now let's plug our 1 in. So 0.5 times 1, so half of 1 is, if you need to look at half of 1 equals 0.5 plus 1 is 1.5, so we're at 1, and we jump to 1.5. Our next one is 0.5 times 2, remember half of 2 is 1, so 1 plus 1 equals 2. So at 2, we're at 2. Now let's plug our next one in. We're at 3, so 0.5 times 3 equals 1.5 plus 1 equals 2.5. So at 3, we jump up to 2.5. Hopefully you can see the pattern right now because we're only going up by 0.5 each time. I'm going to do one more just to show you. So we're plugging 4 in because that's the next number. So 0.5 times 4, half of 4 is 2 plus 1 equals 3. So at 4, we're jumping to 3. So each time we're going up by a half. So if I was to go to 5, I would be at 3.5. So our line is a little more shallow this time. Let's take a look at number 6. I forgot to erase something. The graph shows the charges for a health club in a month. Make a function table for the input-output values. That just means we're looking at the input and output. Write an equation that can be used to find the total charge y for the number of x classes. So we're filling it in the function table and we're writing an equation. So let's come over here to our chart. The first dot is right here. That's on the 0 line, so we're going to start with 0. Then we have 1, 2, 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. At 0, let's see where we're at. We're at 30. At 1, we're at 38. I don't know why they did a graph like that because it's kind of hard to tell. If you chose 39, that's fine too. It's getting close. Just kind of change it over to the numbers I'm using so it works perfectly for you. Our next one, number 2, is at 46. If your estimates were a little off, just change them in mind so your function rule will work. And at 3, we're at 54. Okay, so I need to find an equation now. So we're going to do y equals, and if I look from 0 to 30, 1 to 38, 2 to 46, 3 to 54, I can tell off the bat I can't get there in one step. So what I'm going to do is figure out how to get from 30 to 38, 38 to 46, and 46 to 54. And if you see that, we're adding 8 each time. So we have 8x. Then we have to figure out what we're going to add by. I know we're going to add because we go from a smaller number on the x to a larger number on the bottom. So I'm going to look at 1 to 38 because 1 times 8 is 8, and then 8 plus what is 38, and that will be 30. Let's check it out one more to make sure we're right. 2 times 8 is 16, and then 16 plus 30 is 46. So our function rule is y equals 8x plus 30. Take a look at number 7. The graph shows the amount of money Pasha spent on lunch. Make a function table for the input-output values. Write an equation that can be used to find the money spent y for any number of x days. So let's look over here at this graph. Let's see where our first dot is. The first dot's at 1, so we're going to start at 1. And then we have 2, 3, and 4. At 1, our dot's at 5. At 2, our dot's at 10. At 3, our dot's at 15. And at 4, our dot's at 20. Okay, now we filled in our function table. We have to find our equation. So we're going to start with y equals, and how did I get from x to y? How did I get from 1 to 5, 2 to 10, 3 to 15, and 4 to 20? I multiplied by 5, so we're going to show the multiplication with the variable, which is x, so y equals 5x. Okay, let's flip over. We're going to look at number 8. Okay, the table shows the area of a square with the given side lengths. So we're going to take that equation and we're going to make an equation. So we're looking at the table. We have 1 to 1, 2 to 4, 3 to 9, 4 to 16. Okay, so remember, if you don't know, to find the area of a square, we can either square one side or multiply two of them together. So you can either write y equals x times x or y equals x squared. Because x squared just means we're going to multiply x twice. So on this first one, look, we're going to do 1, 1. And then we're at 2, 2. Oh, sorry, not 2, 2. 2, 4. And then we're at 3, 9. That's as high as we can go, so we're just going to make our nice little line go up just like that. And then we're looking at letter C. Is this a linear function? Oh, I forgot to start here. Remember, it should start right here at 0, 0. And if a linear means, is it a straight line? And if you see, when we start at 0, 0, it doesn't go straight up this way. There's a little bit of a curve. You see there's a little bit of a curve to it. So, no, the graph is curved. If it was linear, let me show you with red, it would be a straight line like that or like that. But there's a little bit of a curve to it, so it is not linear. Hey, if you need more help with this, make sure you're looking at YouTube, coming in for study hall, or checking out Khan Academy.